Hey YouTubers, what's up? It's Chris here, and today I'm recording this from my home office. Now you might be wondering, this is not the usual type of video you see on this YouTube channel. The reason I'm doing this today is because in the previous video we talked about updating the Hearthstone and Magic Hat apps, resubmitting them to the App Store, building some new apps, and trying to make money from the App Store. And I realized that that sort of app journey that we're about to take together is best documented in this sort of vlogging format. And so you're still going to see the tutorials where I show you demos and I'm trying to teach a specific thing, but when I'm updating you guys on the progress of the apps, update you guys on how much money we're making and that sort of stuff, I'm going to be doing it in this sort of vlogging format. So today though, we're going to be downloading Xcode 9 beta. We're going to be loading up the Hearthstone and Magic Hat apps on the Xcode 9 beta, and we're going to see what breaks. I do expect a lot to break, and you might be wondering also why I haven't gotten the beta yet. And usually that's because I don't like playing with the Apple beta software. I find that sometimes they can be pretty buggy. Now that you can do standalone, you can have Xcode 8 and 9 side by side, then it's a lot better, but before you had to kind of replace it. We're getting close to the point in time where the Xcode 9 beta will become officially released, so it should be pretty stable at this point. And plus, now I actually have to use the beta because we need to update the apps and get them out in time for the new App Store format. And when iOS 11 comes out, everyone's going to be updating their OS and stuff like that, so gotta bite the bullet. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to see what breaks and then possibly fix some depending on what the time looks like. But before we do any of that, I just want to give you guys a tour of the office I work in every day, because I realized that I haven't done that before. And this is my home office. This is not the office rental I had last year, which I had to give up, and that's a story for another time. So let's start with what's directly behind me. I've got this backdrop frame which I set up because I was planning to record some more professional looking videos, tutorials, and stuff like that. But after I set it up, it's just a frame right now, I realized that this room isn't big enough for the frame. It's not wide enough. So I probably have to move that into the living room downstairs. And on this wall, I have some audio foam, which when I moved into this house last year, I had nothing in this room except for my computer and a speaker. And when I was recording, there were a lot of echoes. So I had to find a quick solution. I jumped on Amazon and I wanted to get some audio foam. I really wanted the professional black looking audio foam that you see in recording studios, but that stuff is expensive. So I opted for this kind of gnarly looking pink and gray foam, which definitely doesn't look great, but it did the job. And now at this point, I think I can probably take them down because I have furniture and I have a carpet, and it does a pretty good job of stopping the echoes from happening. Or maybe I will splurge and get that black foam. I don't know. It's gonna be a toss-up. Okay, so on this wall, I've got my iMac that I work on. Sorry for the shaky camera. I'm still trying to get used to this vlogging type of thing. And this I bought recently. It's a sit-stand desktop riser, so I can adjust it into sitting position. I can lower it all the way down there and sit and work, or I can kind of raise it to the standing level. And I found out that that's really helped me because after lunch, when I eat pretty heavy meal, pretty sluggish, and I find that standing up and working really helps get my circulation going and I don't feel as tired. And from sitting half the day, standing actually feels pretty good. You'd think that standing would be tiring, but after sitting and then you start to stand, it kind of, I guess, gets your blood flowing and it feels pretty good actually. So I didn't want to buy an entirely new desk, so that's why I got this, and it was a fraction of the price that a brand new adjustable desk would cost. So that's what I did. And what have we got here? On this side of the wall, we've got more audio foam and some more desk furniture. And that's pretty much it. As you can see, it's not a very big room, and there's a closet on this side, but that closet doesn't even contain my stuff. It contains my wife's clothing. It's like an extra storage closet for her. So as you can see, this room is pretty small, but it works so far. It does get pretty hot, but hey, you know, I'm not complaining. I'm not paying, you know, $700-800 a month for the office that I was renting. Anyways, we're gonna get started. We're gonna get Xcode 9 beta, and then we're going to get those apps loaded up. Hey guys, before we launch Xcode 9 and open up our apps, there's just one thing I want to mention, and it's a little bit of a pet peeve because I've been getting a lot of beginners asking me, should they start with Swift 4 or should they start with Swift 3? Should they use Xcode 9 or Xcode 8? Now, that's a very valid question because the thing is, when you Google Xcode to download it, you're going to be brought to this page. Right, you're going to be brought to a page like this. Apple's going to say, what's new in Xcode 9? And you're then going to log in, and up here, Xcode 9 Beta 6 is listed first before the stable releases down here. Where is it? Right here, Xcode 8.33. And then when you go into the Mac App Store and you want to look for Xcode to download, it's going to list Xcode 8. So there's a lot of confusion around there. And on this page, I feel like they should be listing Xcode 8 first, because you want people to be using the stable software first, right? And obviously Apple has their own agenda. They want people to, you know, adopt the latest. So in my opinion, I feel like Xcode 8 should be listed first on this page as to not confuse beginners who are trying to download Xcode to learn. And plus, there's not a lot of support out there right now for Xcode 9 and Swift 4 because it's so new, right? It's still beta software. So if you're a beginner and you want to start developing and learning Swift, download Xcode 8.33. That's the latest version of Xcode 8, and you're going to be using Swift 3. But when Xcode 9 comes out officially, you're going to update and get that. And as a beginner, most of the changes in Swift 4 you're not really going to see, because you're going to be going through stuff like you know, objects. You're going to be learning about classes and variables and properties and stuff like that, and that stuff is just going to remain constant. Now, in a couple of videos, maybe next week or the following week, I'm going to list out the changes for you in Xcode 9 versus Xcode 8, and the changes between Swift 4 and Swift 3. So watch out for those. So for now, let's go back to Xcode 9 beta and open up our projects. Alright, so here we are. Let us try to open, let's say, the Hearthstone YouTube app first in Xcode 9. Alright, let's see what happens. Super outdated. Okay. Okay. Whole bunch of stuff. Wow. I don't have a lot of faith that this is actually going to run. So let's see. Was this built with Objective-C? Man, it's been so long. I don't even remember. Yeah, and it looks like it was. See, this is how long ago this was. Actually, here's the date. 2014, March 20th. Wow, okay. Definitely, I'm not going to be able to update this app here in this video. I didn't even remember that this was built with Objective-C. It's been that long. It's been over 3 years. Okay, anyways, let's run it. Looks like it's going to be a little more work than anticipated, but that's fine. Build failed. Alright. Looks like I'm going to have to update some libraries. Anyways, I'm not going to do this here. We haven't even gotten to, the majority of the errors. I'm sure after I update this library and get rid of this error, we're going to have a whole ton of other errors. Okay, let me just close that. And we are going to try to open the Magic Hat one, see what happens. This one's a little more well organized. This one was in Swift. See, unsupported Swift version. Use Xcode to migrate. Oh, I have to use Xcode 8 first to migrate the code to Swift 3. Is that what it's saying? I'm just gonna run it anyways. Boom. Failed. Yeah, let us just try changing the target here. Deployment target 11. So we set to support it. Okay. I need to go into the build settings. Always fun updating your apps. Swift language version. Let's say Swift 4. Maybe Swift 3 for now. Compiling. I might actually have to 463 errors. Amazing. But you know why there are so many errors is because there's quite a bit of generated code here. So I don't know if I mentioned, but all of the animations in this app were done by something called Core Animator. So let me see if I can just pull it up right now. Core Animator. This guy. So Ray and I used this Core Animator to basically do the animation. So Ray did the artwork, he did it in Illustrator, I believe, and each section of the animal was cut out in little pieces, and this one allowed us to do the animations for each of like the arms and the legs independent of the body, and really he built those animations from the ground up from scratch. And then you can export those animations as a UI view, and it would be, we would have methods. It would generate these methods to run specific animations. So that's how we did that. And as you can see, views, where was it? Is it under helpers or was it under libraries? No, we had Core Animator. Here it is. So for example, for lion, there was a lion view.swift, and this guy would, you know, it's actually a ton of code, and we didn't write any of this. This was generated from Core Animator, right? And then here are the images. So as you can see, here's a lion arm, lower arm, upper arm, body. There's the cheek. There's the eyes. It doesn't look like much like this, but when you put it together, you know, it will actually look like the lion in the app. There's the mouth. So you can see how many different pieces there were. So obviously the generated code is not up to date with Swift 3 or 4, because this was done a while back, so it was Swift 2. And so that's why there are so many errors, because I will probably have to go into Lion View here, and some of the syntax, you know, like this, for example, capital C center has been renamed to lowercase c center. This is one of the changes they did in Swift 3, like that. So that fixes that error, but there's a ton of those errors in all of these different files. And what I could do is probably, if Ray has the original Core Animator files, I could probably just run it through, do the export again, and Core Animator will hopefully spit out, you know, Swift 3 compatible versions, or maybe even Swift 4, but I highly doubt it at this point. And or I would be surprised if they did, pleasantly surprised if they did that. So I could do that, and that would probably get rid of a lot of the errors. Or I can just do a mass search and replace, because a lot of these are pretty self-explanatory. For example, this capital S is now a lowercase s. And in Swift 3, they did a lot of these changes just for consistency, because they started following where all of these enums were following this sort of camel case, and so they fixed up a lot of those little things. So a lot of these errors, this 591 errors, they're not very serious ones. Okay, so I guess we won't really be able to get this done in this video. So I'm going to take this away and I'm going to work on this, get it all fixed up. And then the next time we talk, we'll be able to look at the finished product. So, all right, at least now we know what we're dealing with. All right, so before I get to work on those projects, there's one question I want to ask you guys. So today I give you a tour of my little home office. Now, based on what you saw, I want to ask you, do you think I cleaned up this room in order to shoot this vlog for you guys? So I want you to comment in the comment section below and either put yes or no, whether or not you think I cleaned up. I'm gonna show you guys one more time what this office looks like, and then you can tell me if you think I'm a messy person or I'm generally this organized. So I'm gonna take a look. Here's the desk. All right, so let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next vlog. See you later. Bye.